Hello everyone and welcome to another tarot reading. So I think we're all breathing a little bit better, easier. The solar eclipse, I want to say lunar eclipse, which is coming out next week though. But the solar eclipse energy is finally settling down. So let's see what's happening in your life right now. What does Spirit want you to know? Okay, we're starting off strong with the Empress. You're back in your energy, you're back into your confident energy of that girl. I think most of my demographic is women anyways, so I'm just gonna address you as the girlies. The guys, I'm sorry. I guess your feminine energy must be stronger if the Empress comes up, which then means you need to tone it down a little bit. We have the Five of Pentacles and then the Six of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. Okay, so for the men, literally this is tone down the feminine energy and focus on being in your masculine energy. We have the Five of Pentacles and then the Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving and scarcity mindset. For my women, this means you really need to focus on healing your feminine energy. What are you doing? Why are you being overactive in your masculine energy when you're not supposed to be in that energy? You will not get far in life if you constantly operate from a masculine energy. It's not your natural state. We have the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which means you're always going to feel conflict. And even for the men watching this, when you're too much in your feminine energy, same concept. It's going to bring you problems because you're gonna be always forcing the other person being in the opposite energy. So if as the guy you're in your feminine energy, you're forcing your partner to be in their masculine energy. It does not work, okay? The polarity is off. So then your partner being in her masculine energy forces her to initiate, lead, take charge and all these things, and it's disrupting her energy, and we want a cohesive energy. And for the women that need to heal their feminine energy, kind of like the same thing. You're never going to allow yourself to be provided for, taken care of. And I know in today's day and age and society, everyone wants to push the hyper independent woman onto you, like you don't need no man. Yeah, you don't need no man, but it does make life a little bit easier, you know. If you as a woman can be in your feminine energy, it makes receiving so much easier. It makes just, you know, let's just talk hormonal, like how much easier it is for your hormones to be in balance. So my PCOS girlies with endometriosis, I think it's pronounced in English, you're gonna do yourself this favor, okay? So we have the Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords, okay? You're persisting in this entrapment, okay? You're keeping yourself constantly in a loop. Again, like I said, if you're not in your feminine energy, you're not gonna move forward, okay? You're supposed to be nurturing. You're supposed to be in a receiving state, letting yourself be led, be a little bit softer instead of like that harsh energy where you just, basically what I'm hearing, like you need to get out of that survival state. So maybe you have been forced into that masculine energy. I, for example, have been kind of like forced in my masculine energy. My situation is very interesting. Like my dad treated me like a princess and spoiled me, but also at the same time, I was forced to be in the masculine energy because the emotional regulation role of the family fell upon me for whatever reason. So I was kind of like in charge of regulating everyone, making sure everyone's calm and all that, which kind of like forced me then, ironically, into a masculine energy because I do have a natural leadership energy in my birth chart, right? But once leading is done, in certain occasions I need to be in my feminine energy. I need to be in a receiving state. And but I was constantly kind of like the buffer in the family, kind of, in a way, holding things together in a way. That was like the role that I was assigned to. And that kind of like forced me into masculine energy, because it was a coping mechanism for me to be in survival mode, you know. Otherwise it would have been too much as a kid, you know, or a teenager in this case, because that's where it kind of like started. And then also problem solving, you know, how can I keep the peace, you know. That was not what I was supposed to be doing, you know. I was supposed to be, if I'm leading, it's stuff like this, leading a collective. That's where I thrive the most, you know. Bring healing, which, yes, I'm in a leadership role, but the base concept of the healing, what I'm giving you guys is healing, which is nurturing energy, which is feminine energy. So you know the balance there. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, Six of Pentacles is good though. There is a slight progress. You have to see that the work that you've been putting in has been fruitful, I guess. You can reap the benefits. It could be a little bit more though. It could be a tiny bit more, you know. What can you do to help you put in your feminine energy every week? I'm not saying every day, because, you know, it gets uncomfortable if you're not used to, but every week, one thing, you know, so you can practice it. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. I love that. That's supposed to be you. Spirit wants you in this energy, in this is the highest archetype of feminine energy, in my opinion. I don't know, there's probably other ones, but like the High Priestess, again, like that girl. And you're close, you're so close. I think we just need to make some tiny little adjustments again. Oh, okay, so Knight of Pentacles here is literally plan out. Go on Pinterest, ask ChatGPT or whatever AI that you prefer, because we're canceling ChatGPT. But you need a feminine routine. Specifically a nighttime routine. I feel like nighttime routines are the best to put you into feminine energy, because you're literally taking time to wind down, put yourself into a slower energy. You also then start talking slower and more relaxed, and then the softness comes. It's something that you need to embody more and more, get used to. And the nighttime routine, a feminine nighttime routine, would be amazing. I think that could really help you. And for each one, it can look a little bit different. For me, for example, before I go to sleep, I literally like hand cream, lotion, foot cream, all those things. So when I wake up, I am super moisturized, but also it helps me be high maintenance to be low maintenance, if that makes sense, you know. We're working long run, but you know, it's could be so many different things. Could be like making yourself a nice cup of tea so that you're nice and relaxed. It makes you a little bit sleepy, helps you fall asleep easier. Read a book, like something, or like a cozy hobby that puts you into your body. That, because the feminine energy is very like body oriented, right? Present in the moment. So masculine energy is very head driven or ruled, I guess, where you have to constantly problem solve, think about solutions, actions, planning, stuff like that. That's masculine energy. Feminine energy has to do with movement, stretching, nurturing the body, whatever it is. It's more body ruled. And so how can you implement it? But make sure that it works for your schedule, okay? The amount of feminine care routines that I see online that are like 10,000 steps are beautiful if you have the time for it. But not everyone's schedule looks the same. If you're a mother, you might have like 5 to 10 minutes every day to spare for yourself. So it needs to be adapted. So make sure that it works for your schedule the best. We have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. This is basically saying put the Emperor energy, the masculine energy, away. Have it recharge for whenever you need it to, because you need to switch back and forth between the energies for different occasions. Like I told you, the masculine energy is for planning and stuff like that, so then you can call it back, but make sure that you drop back into the feminine energy. Okay. What else, Spirit? Please let me know. We have the Ten of Pentacles, Justice. And then we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. I love that. So once you drop that defensiveness, that hyper dependence, let me see if I can get them all here. Once you drop this, that hyper dependent where you never even ask for help, that's also like something that I'm hearing. You need to ask other people for help. You cannot do everything alone, no matter how much you try. Okay? It's not healthy. A Divine Feminine knows when she needs help, when she needs support from the community, so she asks. So that's also something that you need to train. To create security, you need to look at certain truths in your life. The Justice card here could also be cause and effect, basically, where it's, if I act a certain way, how is that going to impact me? So for example, the hyperdependence, you can continue doing it. Some of you are probably rolling your eyes and being like, nope, I don't want to. You do you, boo. I'm just the messenger here. But in the long run, how beneficial is it going to be for you? Because you're probably gonna burn out at one point because you try to do everything yourself. Is it pride that's holding you back? You really need to ask yourself certain questions of like, why am I not allowing myself into feminine energy? And for all my women out there that really are looking for a partner, that are really ready for that provider and all that, you cannot attract a provider if you don't allow yourself to be in the feminine energy, if you don't allow them to lead. And you probably have to heal that hyper independence bit by bit. What did this solar eclipse show you? What wounds did it bring up? Because there's probably some core themes that it tried to highlight to you of what you needed to heal, yet you didn't look at them. Otherwise this video wouldn't be popping up. So, okay, these cards also want to be chosen, it seems like. We have the Three of Cups and then the Page of Wands here. Okay, not bad. So we have, how can I put this into words? You need to build a community that excites you, that motivates you. So you cannot be in your feminine energy if you're constantly surrounding yourself by hyper masculine women. And there are out there. They are out there. And I kind of like grew up with one, like my mother Earth sometimes is too much in her masculine energy is where I feel like, but because her reason is also because of trauma, you know, like the father wound that she has, right? So she's kind of like trying to reparent herself in a way, or that father wound, by being in her masculine too much. That's why she started kind of like rejecting feminine stuff, but she's slowly getting into it again, because I guess like her father, like her feminine wound is healing as well, or maybe my presence inspires it, I don't know. But I, you know, I used to be a tomboy, I used to hate dresses, I used to dislike the color pink and all that, until I started healing my feminine energy. Until I started looking into my birth chart, and literally my Venus is in Libra. And I'm meant to embody feminine energy anyways. And I also have my Lilith in Leo, which is also very feminine energy. So the more I started leaning into it, it started to become easier. Things started to flow much more smoothly, less resistance and all those things. Obviously my receiving energy improved so much more as well, but you need a community that brings that forward. My friends right now are all super feminine. They really like doing girly stuff, dressing up and all those things. My other friends that I had before that were not. A dress, ooh, don't even mention that, you know? So you need to change your environment as well. We have the 7 of Swords, 8 of Cups, and then the 3 of Swords. So speaking of the environment, so you really need to change it because there are envious people that are gonna make you feel bad. You need to be able to step away from them. The 8 of Cups here is freedom and letting go of those wounds. So if their envy is constantly there because you are embodying a more confident feminine side and it triggers them, it's going to be difficult trying to continue evolving because there's always something going to be there where they want to bitch about and be like, you changed and all those things. And we don't want that when we're doing our healing journey, right? We have the Page of Cups, which is dreams and creativity. So your dreams literally could be like in the artistic sense, and being in your feminine energy is easier to follow through with your job. You want to know why? Because the feminine energy creates from scratch, literally birth. You're literally creating, yes, with the seed of the guy, but your body is doing everything, you know. Your body is growing the human life inside of you. So creation literally is our talent. So that's why also you will see more feminine or like female dominated, no, wait, how do you say it in English correctly? Where like in creative jobs, it's mostly women. There are men out there, yeah, but it's mostly women. In certain cases, you know, because, you know, if we want to go by painters and all that, back then women were not allowed to do stuff, right? But nowadays, is it mostly female hairdressers? Why is it mostly female florists and all those things, right? Because it just comes super naturally. Before this goes too deeply into the patriarchal issues we have nowadays, which I don't care. Be offended as you might want to, but you know, I'm trying to get to the point of the reading. So let's see what the fairies are saying. We have wedding. Okay. Could be literally celebration, where it's saying like, congrats on evolving in your feminine energy, but also you attracting your divine counterpart. Literally that masculine man that was meant for you is literally around the corner. But your extreme wounds in your feminine energy, or you being still too much in your masculine energy, might be blocking him from coming like literally into your life, or he already is in your life and that's why like you feel like it's not happening yet. Like if you're waiting for a proposal, this is why. Okay, then we have spring and winter, which is so interesting. Like this literally could be in the engagement. It could happen either in spring or winter, or for those that don't have anyone, you could literally meet or get together with the person during these seasons. Let me know, come back to this video, save it and come back. Then we have spiritual healer and ask for what it is that you want. And very interesting bunnies here. I had a dream the other night, afternoon, when I was taking an afternoon nap. I had a dream about a baby bunny and I was looking up the meaning of it, and it's literally saying your inner child. So your feminine wounds could be connected to your inner child wounds, so you can basically tackle both at once, right? So ask your inner child, what does it need right now? What can you provide emotionally so that your inner child settles so you can heal those wounds? I love that. Okay, let's see what the High Priestess have to say, since we're talking about feminine energy. It's gonna be great. We have awaken the priestess of Avalon within you. It's basically saying like trust into your divine feminine powers, okay? Women are intuitive, some of us are psychic, some of us are meant to be witches in this lifetime as well. So use that energy. Basically, kind of, you're good at energy manipulation, so use it to your advantage to get things. Ooh, we have the High Priestess's child is blessed. So we have a baby coming. Congratulations. For those that are not trying to get pregnant, this is literally just new beginning, you know, life, a new life happening. Then we have you're a student of Lady Nada, which to me is basically the whatever equivalent of Aphrodite. Since I don't know a lot about that High Priestess, I can only speak of Aphrodite as someone that used to and still kind of is working with her. So when I got into witchcraft and I started healing my feminine energy, literally that's when I started working with Aphrodite, and the healing went so quickly. I'm not saying do daily work because it's not for everyone, but take inspiration from Aphrodite, okay? Aphrodite or Persephone could also be, because, you know, we literally had spring. So for those that do practice witchcraft, do look into the signs if Persephone is trying to reach out to you and wanting you to work with her. But, you know, go on Pinterest, look up, make a mood board, romanticize it, make it fun. Then we have connect with the element of earth to heal and regenerate. Connecting with nature is like such a girly thing to do, in my opinion. You will always find me gawking at flowers or like a very interesting tree, or just, I don't know why deers popped up in my mind right now. So that could be significant for you. You're obsessed with deers right now. Do a deer inspired makeup, whatever that means for you, but literally have fun with it. I don't know, Pinterest keeps popping up so strongly here, so take inspiration from Pinterest. So yeah, what should the emoji be since it's feminine energy? Let's do a pink heart because nothing else comes to my mind. And the affirmation should be super simple. I allow myself to embrace my femininity. Maybe that sentence already feels awkward to you if you're not used to it, but again, every day a little bit more, we practice it. Also, Taurus keeps popping up, so you might have a Taurus placement. It's gonna help you because Taurus is ruled by Venus. Again, Venus, the planet of love, harmony, beauty, etc., which can help you. Or like in this case, the goddess Venus, which is the Roman version of Aphrodite. So again, mood boards, help yourself out there. There's so many things you can find on Pinterest. That's what I did. I really was back then into princess core before I found like coquette aesthetic, which is a little bit more my style, but I still really love princess core. And I literally looked at lifestyle. What's a princess core lifestyle, or royal core was also very much in that moment, and literally such a cute feminine way to do it. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next reading. Until then, bye bye.